Oh boy. Hey everybody. Welcome back to the channel. It's Friday evening and tomorrow's going to be a big day because tomorrow I get to dig out those carrots. Very excited about that, and it's time they come out, and I'm going to show you tomorrow how we store those in our root cellar, and they last pretty much all they last pretty much all winter, and we've actually been able to still eat carrots the following July, like the beginning of July, and then they start to get a little soft. But then that's about the time that the new carrots of next year will be coming out. So anyway, that's tomorrow. We're going to be digging those carrots. I also want to install maybe a dozen over in our seed growing bed, our biennial seed growing bed. I've already got leeks in there. I want to put a dozen or so carrots. And I want to put, these are Scarlet Nan's carrots. They are open pollinated, of course. You shouldn't really try to grow seed from a vegetable unless it is open pollinated. So Scarlet Nan's, which is our go-to carrot. Danielle likes to grow that Jean de Douve carrot, and we have a few of those over there. But that's the carrot seed that we grew this year. And so we have a ton of those. I'm glad that we were able to save seed. We didn't want to lose that variety. But anyway, Scarlet Nance is one we're going to install, and I'll show you how it's no big deal, but we install those in the garden, and I'll heavily mulch them. Thought I heard something over there. Heavily mulch them to protect them from the winter cold. And that'll be really, really exciting, growing your own carrot seeds. I think we had good luck this year. So, yeah, you do what you got to do. I believe in, doing everything you can to be self-sustainable. And not only that, another issue is this issue of high seed prices. Have you all noticed? Wait till you get your seed catalogs in another, October? Probably in another month or two. You'll be shocked. Well, I was shocked last year by some of the seed prices. I know Johnny's has had like 25 lettuce seeds for about $5. That's getting a little crazy. And I actually bought those because they were a special lettuce that I wanted to try. And of those 25, only 4 germinated. So, I'm not going to do that again. But anyway, seed prices, and Danielle and I were out today. We were in a couple of stores, a couple of shops, and we noticed that prices are really getting wicked high. We were at a store in Waterville, Maine today, and prices are so high, and it's largely due to inflation. And so don't get me started on inflation, because inflation is it's man-made, first of all, and it is it's something that you can do if you have a fiat currency, which is a currency that is not backed by anything. It's just paper, worthless paper, basically. The only reason why fiat currency works is because we all agree to use it. So if you have something that I want to buy from you and I give you a $20 bill, we just agree that that $20 bill is worth $20. There is no gold behind it like in the old days when there was gold behind our currency was backed by gold. In fact, President Nixon closed the gold window in 1971. If any of this interests anybody, I can go into great detail. But with the creation of the Federal Reserve in 1913, what the heck is that? In 1913, that's our central bank, and we, the country, in 1913, gave the Federal Reserve the power to handle our money, and we actually buy our money from the Federal Reserve, which is neither federal and has no reserves. It's as much federal as Federal Express is, and has no reserves. But anyway, I don't want to, I don't want anybody to get mad at me, because I don't really want to turn the channel. I don't think I do. I don't really want to turn the channel into talking about this stuff. I'm a big time student of the history of banking and history of everything really, but especially of banking, and the way that our Federal Reserve got chartered is really a very nefarious story. And I think that the whole idea is to there's a couple ideas, and one of them is to do away with the middle class. The middle class really started to get underway after the Industrial Revolution, and then again once we got into the 1960s and 1970s, people, blue collar people rather, were able to buy their own home. And back then, purchasing a home with a mortgage was considered a good investment. In fact, that was a lot of people's retirement investments. Nowadays, you can buy a home and it can lose money. So this is not a good market for that sort of thing. But I don't really want to talk about housing markets. I'm just to say that the idea of getting a house with a mortgage is no longer a good idea. You're almost better off to rent. But anyway, the Federal Reserve and the central banks want us to become debt slaves. And so I always tell people, so a lot of people have asked me, and I'm no authority, believe me, and I do not give financial advice. I can only tell you things that I have learned from my, I'm 74, so I've seen a lot of things. And the big thing is to stay out of debt. So if you come across a couple $100 and you're not sure what to do with it, pay off consumer debt. Like if you have any credit card debt, and a lot of people do. A lot of people have credit card debt, and it is what it is. I remember one time I had a huge credit card balance. My credit card balance was all the way up to around $3,000, I'm ashamed to say. But when I sold my house in upstate New York, I was able to take some of the equity from the house, and I paid off that thing, and I have not had a credit card since 2003. In fact, I have not had any debt since 2003. Paid off that house, and then now we're in this cabin that we're in is not a palace, believe me. But the good thing about it is that there's no mortgage on it. There's no lien on it. So if you had an extra, bit of money, I would say to people, don't buy stupid stuff. And we have to watch our dollars. We have to watch our pennies going forward, because in my opinion, times are going to get tougher than they are now. Times are pretty tough right now, but but they're going to get even worse, in my opinion. And if you agree, that's good. Let me know what you know. And if you don't disagree, okay, let me know. And if you don't want me to talk about this stuff anymore, then that's okay. Maybe I won't, or I'll start another channel, because I have a lot of this stuff to talk about. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, so I remember in 2009 or 10, I wanted to buy a car with a car loan from my bank, and I went in and applied for the loan, and they did a credit history check on me, and they said that they couldn't give me the loan, which was a blessing in disguise, because I didn't have any credit. Now I said, credit? I don't have any debt. I know, but you don't have a history of paying off debt. So that was kind of a neat thing. So I actually did not buy that car. I bought something a lot less expensive, a used thing. And I'm much happier to drive a used vehicle that has no lien on it, no loan on it, than to buy. I read that 1 out of every 7 car loans is in arrears. And sure enough, we see a lot of cars being repossessed on the road. Now, how do I know that? just by, here comes this truck, and you look in your mirror, and on the back it's got a very late model vehicle. And so they're not towing these things in for repair. They're towing these things in because the people just can't make their payments. It's a very sad thing to have a car repossessed, I guess. It looks horrible. What do you do? But anyway, so yeah, I've seen Ford pickup trucks for sale for $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 for a new vehicle. You can't do that. You just can't do that. Anyway, our vehicle is 10 years old. We bought it in 2015 with cash, just with cash. And that's the way we tend to do things. And Danielle and I, we set up our own central bank. So if we need money for a project or a repair or something, we just borrow it from our own central bank and then pay it back. But anyway, and I'm just on a fixed income. Social Security is all. But you all don't want to hear this stuff. How did I get started? I did not take any ibuprofen or anything. That can make me talkative. I don't know why I'm talking my head off. But I wanted to show you the wheat and the carrot patch that's coming out. So let me get off my high horse. Let me get off my stump, and let's take a look at those things. All right, that's our wheat project so far. Looking good. Looking really good. It's about 3 inches tall now, and I've seen 2 leaves. I haven't gotten down on my hands and knees yet to take a look at them. I want to see if any of them have 3 leaves. But I think we're right on schedule to have these things go dormant with 3 leaves. So that's looking good, our wheat harvest, our wheat planting. And then over here is the carrot row that's going to come out tomorrow. It's going to be good weather tomorrow. And I'm going to take that row out, and we're going to put it over in the root cellar. So I'll show you how I do that. And here's another carrot row. This is the one we planted on August the 1st. And these carrots are only about 2 to 3 inches long. So I'm going to leave them in the ground a little bit longer. And we'll see what happens. We'll probably use those for our go-to carrot. I'll put the other ones in the root cellar. And that's where they'll stay until these carrots are gone. Another thing that's interesting are these garden huckleberries. Have you ever heard of garden huckleberry? Let me know down in the comments section if you have, and what you use them for. Danielle makes pies and ham pies out of them. They're really delicious. So she'll let me know when she wants me to harvest these. I really enjoy harvesting garden huckleberries. They are a nightshade. And just like tomatoes and potatoes are, and they're not quite as sweet as blueberries or huckleberries. They're not related to blueberries either. So they are an animal of their own. They're very good. When we get Danielle to make some garden huckleberry ham pies, we will make a video. In fact, if you look way back, maybe about a year ago, you'll see, I think we did a video on making garden huckleberry ham pies. You might want to check it out. Well, I'm going to start putting the animals to bed now. It sounds like the older chickens are starting to roost, and that's always a wonderful thing to see, them roosting over there. I want to tell you something, one last little story that's kind of interesting, and that is when I first moved to Maine in 2003, we had a dial-up internet connection. Have you ever heard of that? Dial-up? That was the first type of internet connection that they had. And then after a few years, maybe 3 or 4 years, then we got DSL internet. And and that was really quite a thing. I was able to watch YouTube videos or, much better connection. More than one person can be online at the same time, and you can still use the phone. And but then, let's see, what day was it? Was it Monday, I think? We got a notification from our internet provider that fiber optic was coming. And so anyway, long story short, they installed it on Monday, and before Monday, whenever I would go to upload a YouTube video that I'd made, it's getting dark. Let me wrap this up. Upload a YouTube video that I made, just a 12, 14, 16-minute video would take about 12 hours from the time I clicked, upload, click that button, 12 or 14 hours before it was uploaded. You know how long it takes now? When same length video, click that last button, it takes 1 second. Boom, and it's up. So that's the reason why these videos are coming out in the evening now instead of the early morning. Because it used to be that I would edit a video and upload it, start uploading in the late afternoon, early evening, and it wouldn't be up until the following morning. That's why y'all were getting up my videos in the morning. But now, I start the upload in the late afternoon, early evening, and they're up right away. So I wondered if does it make any difference to you folks when you would like me to upload the video? I don't think it would make any difference. It works well for me to upload them in the evening. But if any of you have any thoughts on this idea of when I should upload them, you could leave a comment. But that's not very important. So I'll leave you alone about that. So I'm sorry that I went off talking about banking and inflation and so forth. I have a lot to talk about. If enough people are interested, I don't want to scare people away because I know you come here for the homesteading and looking at the old women who dress in an old-fashioned fashion. Old-fashioned fashion. That's pretty much, you want to see how we do things. But there's a lot to homesteading and a lot to this lifestyle that you need to take into account. But it's getting pretty dark, so I better start closing up the animals. So, well, thanks for listening if you lasted this long. And we'll catch you on the next one. Tomorrow I'm going to film getting the carrots out and putting them in the root cellar. So it'll be a lot of fun. And then pretty soon we're going to bake Russian amaranth bread. That's coming up in the near future also. But first things first. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. All right, bye.